Well, it's time. Shall we start? I'm ready, whenever you're ready. I do whatever you want me to do.
That's a wonderful proposition.
I do whatever you want me to do.
Okay, so Daniel, tell us a little bit about yourself, how you started in the hobby, and how long you've been breeding birds.
It's not, here it's 27. It's still 3 minutes ahead. You want to start? Hello. Well, it's time. Shall we start?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yes.
So Daniel, tell us a little bit about yourself. How long you've been in the hobby, please?
I started with 10, 11. So that's about 40 years ago. I got my first birds. And since then, I always kept them. Also, when I was not living at home anymore, when I was studying, I went back home every second day. I kept the birds in the old house from my parents, and I never gave them away. When I was traveling for a few months, or once I was traveling 8 months in Central America, so I gave all the birds to 2 different friends, budgie breeders, and they could breed with them. And when I came back, I could continue. So actually, I breed birds now for 40 years. That's a lot of experience.
Wow, that is a lot of experience. Okay, well, I think if it's okay with you, I think we should head for your bird room, unless you want some more questions to start with. But I know everyone's dying to see your birds.
As I told you before, I do whatever you want me to do. So that's our house, our garden. Well, that's an old house. We bought it. It's not working. Strange. Well, I can't move. That's the bird room, bird house. We built it new 4 years ago. It was really made to breed budgies. And here's the entrance to our house, and that's the bird room. Here's my bird room. Well, you come in from outstairs. Here is our living room, and there's always one block with 20 cages. Everything is on rolls. That means I can easily move them when I want to clean. You know, I can put them around, and there's always 20 cages. That's another unity of 20 cages. That's another unity of 20 cages. There's another unity of 20 cages. Here are 2 big flights with young birds and spare birds and hens. And in here, there's another flight that everything is on rolls. You see, that's very important. You can put it away. You see, it's very easy to handle. So I can clean here and things like this if I have to. And in here now, these are all baby birds. In here are also baby birds. Some hens that already bred, some birds for sale. In the other flight down there, they're all young baby birds. Here's my kitchen. Here I can clean things. That's I don't know the English word. Here's different stuff in. That's the fridge for beer, and here's the soft food for tomorrow. That's the rest from today. And a few things I need. Then you can go down in the cellar. Can you hear me?
Yes, clearly.
Okay, because nobody says something. If you have a question, just ask. Here's the toilet. Here is the, where's my food is, and all the stuff you need to breed butties. It's all in here. Nest boxes, millet sprays. Most of the millet sprays is below here. That's the big flight downstairs. And below here, well, it's over here. In here, it's all millet sprays from France, from Guillaume Froger. If he's listening, I say hello. I'm very pleased with the quality I got from him. My birds, they eat millet every day. And here are the birds in the big flight. They will soon go up because it's soon sleeping time. And here's another breeding cabinet of 20 birds. 16 birds. And so that's about the equipment that I have. And now you have to tell me what you want me to do or what you want me to talk about.
Well, maybe Daniel, you could take it a bit slower and let us have a good look at individual birds and tell us about the birds that we are looking at. What is the things you like about the individual bird?
I have a problem that at the moment I cannot zoom. Now it works. Okay, now it works. Good. So now like this, can you see it?
Yes.
Okay. You told me yesterday that you want me to talk about a few cages, about a few pairings. That's a young cock. He was attacking his baby today. That's why he sits in the baby flight, but that's an example. Is not 100% in condition, but that's a bird I like a lot. He's close to my ideal. But, you know, he's stressed. And you have to know that today we had 33 degrees in Switzerland, so it was really hot. And in the bird room, it's also quite hot. And downstairs, the birds are more relaxed because downstairs it's much more comfortable from the temperature. Okay, I can show you a few breeding couples. That's a couple. Well, that cock, he breeds with every hen, except that he has some tickets. I think he's a perfect bird. He's from 2017, but still for the complete, still flying. And in here, the first baby arrived. I always leave 4 eggs and also so they can raise 4 chicks. And that couple bred already 4 chicks in the first round. But before he was with a sister from that hen. From that cock, I have more than 30 youngsters. He breeds perfectly. Yeah, the chicks are hatching, and I like a lot.
Can you say what cage number these are as you're going along, Daniel, so we can
That's cage number 2.
Right.
Well, I don't know whether you want to have a look to all the breeding couples. That's cage number 1. That's also an old cock. He's a yellow-faced cock, yellow-faced pipe, and he's now paired to a golden-faced hen. I would like to breed double factors golden-faced pipes. I like golden face, I like dark factors. And I sold a lot of gray greens and grays and cinnamon gray greens and cinnamon grays because I'm a little bit bored. I want to breed something new. And at the moment, I breed a lot of dark factor birds and yellow face birds. Here, maybe to show you another couple. Small, stylish cock, nice feathered, with a big buffy hen. You can't see them properly. She comes from the Texas family. She's violet, so here I would like to breed violet spangles, and she can carry the yellow face factor, so that would be very nice. You see, she's big and puffy, and the cock is stylish. That's the face I like, that's the feather I like, not too extreme, with good buffalo, good blow, but the feather must stay closed. Any bird that you can see the feathers around, where you can see through the feathers, I sell. I don't like these birds. I know they're very popular in England, but I don't like them. When a certain blow is good, but not too much. That's a recessive couple. He's difficult, but yeah, he also has the face that I like, but he's difficult with hands. Yeah, but okay. That's a spangle. Spangle dog factor. He also carries the violet factor, and he's a big, massive bird, and he's paired to a little mauve hen. I got 2 babies from them so far. The cock isn't easy, and that was the hen that he was choosing. And there are now some babies up here, but they're only the double factor is the own one, and the 2 own ones, and 2 from another couple. Down here, it's a Latino couple. That's box number 8. I tried to go a little bit. The hen just started to lay an egg. Here's Lutino to Lutino. I always make one season Lutino to Lutino, and the year after I make split birds again. Lutinos are difficult. That one is breeding well, but I also have in here a few big Lutino birds that do not breed well. But I have no youngsters or not good youngsters. So that's one of the difficult guys. That's another one. That's another one. Well, they will go up later. When the light starts to turn off, they all go and sit on the perch, and you can see them better. That's a new mutation I like a lot. That's a young melanistic spangle hen. Nobody seems to like them. I like them a lot, but up to now, nobody likes them. That's a normal spangle hen. She didn't feed the chicks, but I have youngsters from her. She has good spots. But, well, that was not what we wanted to do. I lose myself, so we go back. He's also not an easy cock. With that hen, he already has fertile eggs. I like him a lot.
What green leaves have you got in the aviary, Daniel?
Willow. They like to hide, they like to play, they like to eat. And yeah, I try to, yeah, the problem is too many leaves, you can't see the birds properly. So that's That's the hen of his choice. They already had fertile eggs, and then I changed the hen, and with the other hen he had clear eggs. So now he has he has the old hen again. Okay, that's box number 10. They have 3 chicks. I think for the chicks it's too early to see something. But that's a typical combination. They're both from last year. They both bred already. She's a direct daughter from the European show winner, Cinnamon Sky, 3 years ago. And that's a young one. He was in Karlsruhe the best opaline in show. And well, many people say that's one of the best birds they've ever seen. I like him, but for me, he's a little bit too extreme already. I prefer the hen, to be honest. Well, what can we do? And the hen is shorter feathered, very stylish. She could need a little bit better spots. Otherwise, I would call her to be, yeah, nice. Up here, I just sold the cock. There was an old cock. Oh, she's feeding the chicks for herself. I just sold the cock, and I wait until I can take the rings away, until I can put the rings on, and then I will put the new couple in there. That's a big gray green cock. Before he always was clear. Now he's having chick. That's box number 11. Big boy, and he needs a short feathered hen, and she's short feathered, and they are having now 5 or 4. I would say 4 fertile eggs out of 6. That's good. I wouldn't pair him to a big hen. He's more than big enough, and that's why he's paired to a short feathered hen. Normally I give birds like this a few hens to choose from, and she bred well in winter time already, so I thought he could do well with an experienced hen. This couple already bred some super chicks. It's a sky blue cinnamon paired to opaline gray-green hen. That's a typical combination. So you get cinnamons, you get opalines, you get normals, you get cinnamon opalines, and yeah, they had 4 very, very good chicks in the first round already, and yeah, you can see the direction of the feather is yeah, what you want to see, or at least what I want to see. Don't hesitate to ask something. It must be very boring just to listen.
No, it's not. It's not boring at all. You carry on talking, and you know, when you are stuck for words, you let us know, and I can ask questions. But I think everyone will agree we are all enjoying what you have to say.
That's a love couple. He's one of my favorite birds. You can't see it. At the moment, he's not 100% in condition. Yeah, and he was choosing that hen. She already bred last year, and she should lay her first egg tomorrow. I could feel it. I touched her today, and I thought in the evening the first egg will be there. So here she's a big, massive hen, and that cock is part of my show collection. In the show cage, he's outstanding, but not at the moment. He's not in top condition. Here, excellent hen with average cock. He's already going to the 6 years, but he's still feather complete, still fertile, and he's all the hens love him. He breeds with any hen, and this hen is very difficult, like all super hens. And yeah, they had one chick already in the first round. The hen didn't sit well on the eggs, so now I try them again. And as I told before, such a huge, massive hen, she needs the average feathered cock. And I like to breed with all cocks that are still feather complete. So, you know, in that family, yeah, you have no feather troubles at all. That's the yellow face. Again, that's box number 14. Actually, there are two couples. The yellow face hen is going with the dark green cock, and the spangled cock is going with the grey-green hen. But these are both two young baby hens, 2019, but not used yet. And I hope that they become jealous and that one of them will go into the breeding box. This morning I had another hen in here, and she went straight to the nest box, and the grey-green hen, she almost killed her. And I was away the whole day, so it was too risky for me, so I took the other hen out. I know that they want to breed. That's, for example, a typical combination again. This dark green cock, he already bred in winter time. He's a 19 cock. She's a baby hen. She's shortly feathered. He's at on the limit, but feather complete. And but if you see the feather at the top here, it's too much open. I don't like. You see here at the top, too much open, and the hen, she's fully closed. That's for me very important. I would never breed him to a hen like with the same feather structure as he has.
So
Yes.
Daniel, can I ask you a question while we're in
Sure.
this cage? Somebody's asking how you give the cockbird a choice of hens. Do you just put one cockbird to two hens and keep watching them in case one kills the other?
Well, with some hens, I want to be part of it, because when hens are ready to be paired up, they can be very nasty, let's say very aggressive, and they can easily kill another one. So it's important to be there. Yeah, but yeah, so I lost a few birds like this, always hens, when they start to attack each other. Cocks, when they fight, they can bleed, but one day, once one of the cocks will stop. But with hens never stop. They go to the end, and if it has to be, they kill the other hen. And yeah, I want to show you that cock I like a lot, but I cannot use the zoom again on my camera. I would like to show you what I like in that cock. Oh, he's a young one. She's an experienced hen. She has a gray factor. I try to use always one gray factor or even two gray factors. And he has some tickets. That means he needs a clean hen. So also a good combination. But they choose themselves. They are having eggs now. So we go to box number 17. Every cock, young cock in grey-green. But this couple, if you see them, you won't go crazy. Where are they? Well, they're a little bit shy, but again, 4 or 5 eggs are fertile. They had 4 chicks in the first round, and I would say they bred the best chicks. All 4 chicks are excellent. Both birds, I would say, average, not special. They're very shy. They're afraid of the camera. I don't do this every day, so maybe you can see him. Well, it doesn't matter. Just to show you. No, they're behind the leaves. Doesn't matter. They're just two average birds. Maybe I can show you later again. Okay, here's box number 18. That's a young cinnamon yellow-faced gray. I think my family with cinnamon yellow-faced grays, that's my best family. And many breeders that are buying birds from me, they also have super yellow-faced cinnamon grays. They're all over the world. When you see shows, I would say that's my strongest family. He's in with a sky blue hen, but she's new. That's why I can take her quickly out. I don't want to disturb her because I see her the first time into the nest. A hen I like, nothing special, all in proportion, short feathered. He's already for me on the limit, the cock. Maybe I can show them. Also again, one gray factor, one cinnamon factor, one yellow face factor. That's the way I like to breed. Maybe he will be part of the show team. Maybe he's too much, I'm not sure yet. But anyway, that year there won't be any shows, so it doesn't matter actually. But yeah, so that's couple number 18. I already have some chicks from the cock from the first round, but not with that hen. That's the last couple. They just started to lay eggs. That's a couple I wouldn't pair. Oh. Did you hear me? What I told you about this bird? I don't know.
No, just if you talk about these birds again, then we'll be back on track and everything will be fine.
Okay, it's a typical combination. There's a yellow face, a cinnamon gray with a normal blue. And I think you asked me why I have so many gray factors. And I think it's simply a fact that if you work with gray factors, you have bigger birds, better size. I try actually almost in every cage, I try to use a gray factor, a cinnamon factor and opaline factor. And then I always try to mix cinnamon with opaline with normals. And sometimes I make cinnamon to cinnamon, sometimes I make opaline to opaline to get better markings on opaline. I don't know why opalines have such a bad reputation. I think opaline are wonderful birds if they have the right markings. And here that cock is split opaline with an opaline hen. So I hope to breed some nice cinnamon opaline, gray-green cocks. And yeah, that's two average birds, two birds in show condition, not over the top, well balanced. And yeah, he's an 18 bird and she's a young hen. I always try to put an experienced bird together with a young bird. That makes good chicks. Here they're a little bit shy. Well, that's a sky blue hen. She's huge. You cannot see it. And that's her partner. Average feathered bird, but they bred me a super chick. They had 3 chicks, one outstanding, one like the parents, and one lesser. So the lesser one I will sell, and the 2 other ones I will go on breeding with. That was also a love couple, cinnamon to cinnamon. I try to avoid. If you have any more questions, don't hesitate to ask. That's
okay.
Also yeah.
Yeah, no, we have lots of questions, but if you want to go around and just show us a few more of your pairs, then we'll be happy to do that, and then we can move back into your office later on if you wish.
As you want. That's a cinnamon cockbird. He's for me perfectly in shape and feathers, but his markings are poor, almost no spots. That's why he has a young opaline hen with too much melanin. So I hope to get birds, spangles with feather markings. But that's the phase, yeah, you have to go for, or at least I go for.
Can I ask you, Daniel, when you say spangles with better markings, do you mean darker wing markings maybe, or better spots? What do you actually mean?
Both. I mean better. That's one of my favorite birds. It's a violet spangle. When he was a baby, he had almost no markings, no spots. Now he has very nice spots, and that's a bird I would like to show, if there would be a show. And they're both from last year, and they have now the first chicks. That's a violet opaline spangle. What's this here? That's a cobalt baby cock. And there's another cobalt baby cock and a spangle hen. I think the spangle hen, yeah, she's not as good as the brother, so she normally will be sold. But that's for me also a perfect combination. You have the yellow face factor, you have violet, and yeah, they have 5 chicks. 1 chick is in the other box. So that's box 21, that's box 22. In box 23, there's an old man, but he still fucks the whole day long, and the eggs, the first 5 or 6 eggs are fertile. The eggs that have a marking, these ones, they come from another box. Well, this one is from 23. My young hens often destroy the first egg. I don't know why they do it. So I take the egg away when they lay the first one, and then I give them a plastic egg, and if they accept the plastic egg, I will afterwards give back the egg that they laid. She also destroyed one, and the second one she left. And he's a 17 cock, and yeah, he's the father of many chicks. He's a cobalt. She's a violet gray, shorter feathered bird, very young one, and I would like to breed violet yellow face again. That's couple 24. He's the European show winner, recessive. He breeds perfectly, but with this hen, that's a baby from another box. That will be a big puffy bird. I like this hen a lot. They only had 1 chick, but it's an outstanding recessive yellow face cock. I will make another round with that couple because the chicks was so nice. There was only 1 egg fertile. The hen is not easy, but she's beautiful. I like recessives, as you might see soon, because there are quite a few couples. That's the recessive baby from that couple.
Daniel, a member has asked how you control the flecking.
Oh, don't breed with them. So you have...
Yeah,
you won't see many birds with flecking. I have almost no flecking. And if you have a flecked bird, pair him to a clean one, and then the flecking will disappear. Look, that's the recessive baby from that couple. He's perfect marked, and well, he lost a lot of weight since I took him away. The father started to attack him, but I hope you can see the quality that he's getting. He's yeah. He has spots. I don't like recessive pies without spots. I think they are not nice. You see, he has the blow, he has the right markings, he has the spots. Certainly a bird I will continue with. Going back to your question, I used to have birds with better spots some years ago, but I also had more flecked birds. So, of course, there's a link between having good spots and having lots of flackies. But I prefer a bird with smaller spots that is clean, instead of having a good bird with big spots and that is dirty. I don't like flecked birds, but if it's a good bird, I wouldn't mind to breed with it. But if I have 10 youngsters from a couple and 7 are clean and 3 are dirty, I might sell the dirty one. That's an old, important bird. He's from box 26. Some members might, he breeds a lot of chicks. He's one of my key birds. He's the father, no, not the father. He's the full brother to that cobalt cock. He's still very fertile. And this one, I just paired him up again. He was he was breeding till winter time, and now he had half a year break. And now I gave him a new hen. He was always breeding with the same hen, but with two hens, and they were both 2007 young, and they both died now. And now I have problems to find a new hen for him. I'm not 100% sure whether that whether they really like each other. The hen would like to breed with him, but maybe I have to change the hen. That's box 25. I just took the babies away. That's a small average hen with good pedigree, and he's a huge cock. Too big, too extreme, too much feathers, but he breeds well. But if you see, he has interesting features, but also some faults. He's feathered perfect. He flies, but he's not as nice as I like the bird. But of course, he's a young one. I want to breed first, and then I will sell him. He's too many faults. That's a very good couple. They bred some excellent chicks. Not this one. That's a nice violet green spangle. But that's the own chick from that couple. And there's another one. That one I liked a lot. A young hen. Again, 2 average birds, both birds in show quality, short feathered, well balanced, a little bit shy. They're all afraid of the camera. They're not used to the camera. And that's one of the chicks. Yeah. He's also a show bird, the cock. That's father and daughter. Most of my cock birds are split cinnamon and split opaline. And all my show winners in the last few years, they all were always split opaline and split cinnamon. I think, I don't know why, but I think you got better feather quality if your birds are split cinnamon and split opaline. Also the hen, she's short feathered, nice, perfect. And we go down box 28. I don't know what's in here. Ah, that's a new couple. They're 2 young birds. They are the first time in the breeding box. He's a big feathered. Wait. That's a love couple. Let me see. She's a pied hen. Nothing special, but well marked. And he's a super cock, but on the limit again. Wait, I have to do it like this. Now you can see it properly. He was choosing this hen in the flight. The hen might be a little bit too young, but he was feather plucked. You can see it, but he's not a show bird anyway. But again, a typical combination from the feather. This on the limit, and the hen is short feathered. Don't put two buffy birds together. That's what most breeders are doing with artificial insemination. They pair big hens with the sperm from big cocks, and what they produce are big ugly birds that cannot fly anymore. And then they put them on Facebook. You only see the face, and everybody's writing super, super, mashallah. But for me, that's a very stupid how you say, a stupid. I don't think many people are saying there's no need to make shows anymore. You can do it everything online. You can do everything on Facebook and Instagram and so on. But I think it's very important that you have judges on the show bench, and they tell you this is good, that is wrong, and this is too much. And if a bird cannot see properly anymore, then it's not good, and so on. If you don't have this, if you just have big birds, but you only see the face on Facebook, then you don't have the judge that makes the rules, that makes the correction. That is very important. I'm not sure whether you can understand what I want to say. I think
we can understand you, Daniel.
Okay, that's the old man. Now he looks better. He's not as good as he used to be. He's also going to the 4th year now, but it's still close to my ideal. And I'm very happy that he sits now in front of the nest box and he's singing. And that I hope that he will accept the hen. Otherwise, he won't breed. And as I told you, he only bred in his whole life. He only bred with 2 hens in 4 years, always with the 2 same hens, and they both died now. Okay, that's another couple. They have a Spaniel. That's a dilute. That baby here is from that super cinnamon gray green hen from before, and another Spaniel. So no matter how this baby looks like, I will keep it because it's from a super couple and it's the only chick. So if I have 10 birds, I keep only the very best one. But if I only have a few birds or 1 bird, I have to continue, of course, no matter how it looks like. That's a yellow face dilute cock together with a dilute hen. And they have some own birds and some from another dilute couple. He's a young one. I like him from the face. Maybe I can show you. Okay, that was box 30. Look at the face from that baby. That's good. That's a recessive pipe. In here, that's the way how it should look like. Babies need to have pink color. The 2 older chicks are from that couple, and the 2 other chicks are from the couple up here. The hen wasn't feeding properly. From here. And show you that also was a love couple from the slide. I think he's an ideal bird except the flacking. He's very shy, so you can't see the quality. He's a young one. We never bred before. And the hen, yeah, it's from my yellow face cinnamon gray family where I have lots of birds from. She's also good enough to go to a show. She has no fault. And they bred, yeah, I think 2 or 3 nice chicks in the first round. Oh, that's an interesting cock. I don't want to destroy the hen or disturb the hen. That's 29918. He's difficult, but every chick that he's breeding is outstanding. He's now with a new hen. and yeah, I don't want to disturb them. Here I put a knife on the nest box. That means I have to look for something. Here are two hens, this one and this one, together with two of my main cocks. And well, they're both difficult, very difficult to find the right hen. And as it looks now, he's a little bit bleeding. That's actually a good sign because they were fighting somehow, but I don't think they like each other. So tomorrow I will try to find a new hens for these two cocks. Box 33, typical combination. Shows the young hen with a young cock, with an older cock. It's a big, massive bird, and they have fertile eggs, and they bred already with the cock is a little bit too big, perfectly marked, but he needs a short-feathered hen. That's why I choose that hen, and she has a violet factor, so I hope maybe to breed some violet factor pites. And she also carries she can carry the yellow face factor. That's box 35, Spangle cock. He breeds perfectly with every hen, always fertile, always good chicks. The first chick just hatched, but I gave away. They bred some very nice chicks again. It's an average couple. And it's often not the couple where you think, wow, they're outstanding, that they breed outstanding birds. Well, she's not nice at the moment. He isn't either. But they bred some wonderful birds that are good enough to win on a show. In their class, at least. Box 36, I can't remember. Ah, that's a new couple. That's a recessive hen with a difficult cock. I just paired them up. He's a cinnamon gray, he's a split cock. And she should start laying eggs in the next few days. Box 40. Small hen, she breeds with every cock. I think from all the hens I'm breeding with, from her I have most youngsters. She's just an average hen, but all the chicks that she breeds are far better than she is. And now I gave her that albino cock. Let's go. Well, albinos have a problem when they come out of the dark, and they always sit in the. Can you see the quality? Yeah, he already bred with an albino hen before, and now he's with that. Oh, he looks strange. He's far better in real than here in the picture. But that's also a big cock with a short feathered hen. That's an old man. That's a 17 cock, but yeah, he breeds with every hen, always fertile. That's one of my key birds. And he likes, you see, I think 6 are full from those eggs. He likes cinnamon grays. He split cinnamon, he split opaline. He has a violet factor. She's a young baby hen. Yeah. Yeah, she's a big hen. He's not so big, but he's very stylish. Yeah, I'm sure I will get nice birds from here. From that cock, I certainly have between 30 and 40 chicks, because in every round he has, fertile eggs, and they always hatch, and they are perfect. That's a baby golden face. There's some more nice babies in here. That's from the pied you've seen before. No, that one is from the pied you've seen before. And, well, here the cock was attacking the chicks. I will put now the cock back, and you can see, I'm sure he will mate immediately. He mates the whole day with every hen. So I give him now to the hen. You see some body porn. I hope it works. They had two more chicks, but the cock was attacking one of them, so I took the cock away and I took the hens away, the babies away and the cock. Well, maybe we have to wait a moment until they start. Here's box 37. They also bred very good chicks in the first round. 3 chicks, 3 top birds. That's a young light green. Well, he's ugly because at the moment, because they have to feed the chicks. 4 chicks plus 2 more fertile eggs. Yeah, that's what you want to see. All look happy, all look healthy.
Daniel, can I just interrupt there? How many chicks would you let a hen bring up? You had 4 chicks there plus 2 more fertile eggs. Will you foster those last 2 chicks away if they hatch, or will you leave her with all 6?
I will take away all the chicks. As I told you, I was the whole day away, and tomorrow I haven't written it down yet. I will take away all the chicks so that the youngest chicks also have the chance to hatch. That's my big fucker, but at the moment he doesn't want. Obviously, too much stress. Maybe we wait a moment and maybe they start. Are you not bored yet?
Yeah, no, we're not bored at all, but I was going to suggest, because you've been talking for 1 hour, maybe you would like a 5-10 minute break, and then we could come back, look at a few more birds, and then maybe ask you some questions later on.
Well, I'm not tired. What I do every evening. I check the birds, I make the nest control, and well, I wouldn't speak for myself, but
But maybe everyone just wants to have maybe just a 5-minute pee break.
Okay. We make a short break. Okay.
Yeah.
I can drink something and okay. Speak to you later.
Okay.
Bye bye.
So we'll see you back here in 5 minutes.
Perfect. Bye bye.
All right, everyone. Same again. 5 minutes pee break. Yeah.
Right, well, that's Daniel back, so I'm going to spotlight him again, and if everybody can mute themselves, that would be wonderful.
All right, Daniel, carry on. What we thought we'd do, can I ask you to show us what you think are maybe your best 10 pairs of birds, and then we'll go and throw some questions at you randomly.
My best 10 birds. Oh, I'm often asked this. I don't think I can answer this question. I like this cock. He split albino. That's why he is an albino hen. They have 6 fertile eggs, but well, I cannot say that's my favorite pair. That's a problem for me to say. That's a super recessive pied cock. They're having chicks in here. So 4 split birds. That cock only lost his hen, and yeah, it's the wrong color, but he's a super budgie. He bred a lot of very, very good chicks last year. All cinnamon hens and cocks. And yeah, that's a split clear body. That's why he's paired to a clear body hen. But well, they're having chicks. Again, is this one of my favorite couples? I can't say. That's a yellow face gray cock, no problem. Part of the show team. She's a very average hen, but she's a direct daughter from my European show winner, and that's why I kept her, regardless that she's poor visual. But they already bred one outstanding chick in the first round. That's box 46.
I don't know if I've muted it.
A normal grey, big puffy bird. Again, grey factor. She's a double. She can be a double factor yellow face.
I'll ask you the question. It's got a line through it.
Yeah, just ask.
Does somebody want to ask a question?
Go ahead. Just ask.
If not, can you mute yourself? It's just that your talking's coming through.
I didn't understand.
Daniel, carry on. Sorry. Carry on talking, Daniel.
That's a yellow face. I want to breed. They're both baby birds, 2020. The cock already had some fertile eggs with, yeah, you see them downstairs. I want to make golden face, so double factors. He's opaline, she's normal, both golden face. I think that would be a perfect combination. He has a dark factor. He's bred over violet. Here, I also want to breed dark factors. That's a violet cock with I think she's a violet sky hen. And they have four or five fertile eggs. So, big puffy hen with a short feathered cock. And yeah, I like dark factors. If I have to say what's my favorite color, I think I would say my favorite color is violet. But yeah, I'm more after types of birds than after specific colors. That's a big, massive cock. Is in combination with a golden face spangle hen. They bred some nice chicks the first round, and now she just started to lay again. That's a short feathered cock, one of the smallest bird I'm breeding with, but yeah, I like the direction of the feathers. Short feathered and very stylish. And now he's with a new hen. The cock was paired to a melanistic spangle hen, and they bred some very, very nice chicks. She's a last year hen. She's a yellow face, and she's not massive, but all the chicks that she bred were far bigger than she is. So I think she can give that little boy some good size. You have cinnamon, he's split opaline. You have green, gray-green, so a lot of possibilities again. They also sit on eggs. But, the young hen, cinnamon opaline, good spot. With a pied cock, perfect mark, stylish bird, nice face. Well, but shy at the moment, so difficult to see. Here's a Lutino hen. She was paired to a clear body cock. They started to fight. And now I took the cock away and I leave the hen breeding for herself. That normally works well.
Daniel,
Yes?
can I just, one of our members, Dawn Sanvo, has asked how long you would expect a hen to produce? Like how old?
Well, the oldest hen I'm working with at the moment are 2016, but these are exceptions. I have, often I sell my hens after the second year. In 2 years they always breed. Maybe they breed the third one, maybe. But I like to work with young hens. They breed more and better. But sometimes, I mean, I wouldn't recommend anybody to buy an old hen because often they do not work well. So if you buy a young hen, you have much better chance that they will work the way you want. And normally I say 2 years always, maybe 3, maybe 4, but these are exceptions. And as I told you, I have a few 16 hens breeding, but these are, yeah, very, very acceptable. And sometimes, often I have hens, they breed well the first year, and then the second year they don't lay an egg or they don't breed well, and then in the third year they breed again. I don't know why, but that's the phenomenon that I can see in many birds. That's a double factor. Golden face is a new hen, so the hen is not yet eager to go into the nest box. That's again an average couple, young light green cock with, yeah, he's mating with the whole flight, and he's a direct brother to the super light green. Well, you haven't seen him in the flight at the moment, and she's a young baby hen, good blow, and they also are sitting on fertile eggs. There's 3 own eggs, no, 4 own eggs. You see the first 3 are fertile, and this one is from box. I can't see it now. But when I write something on the egg, that means the egg is not from that couple. So for me, it's easy to find the couple where it comes from. They start hatching. Typical combination: short-feathered cock, short-feathered hen with a much bigger feathered cock. Well, they're not happy when I kick them out of the dark. They are shy, and now they must get used to the light, so it's difficult to see them. But again, cinnamon, you have opaline with a gray factor. Both birds are split blue. So again, lots of factors, lots of feather, of different feather style. He's a buff feather bird, and she's a, I would say, medium feather bird. So that combination normally produces the best chicks.
Can I ask, Daniel, you have a lot of opalins and you breed a lot of opalins. Now, apart from, obviously, you want a nice clean-headed opalin, what else are you looking for in the opalins? Because, you know, I'm told that they've changed over the years. So what are you looking for in opalins apart from a clean head?
That they have a V at the back. You know, when you pair opalines to opalins, you're getting opal. Let me see that one. That's the golden face. You know, when you pair opaline to opaline, here the back should be a V. It should have no darks. That's very attractive. She's not bred over opaline. But if I would pair her with opaline, yeah, you got brilliant color, brilliant markings. That cock is a violet, perfect bird, except the tickets. They bred 2 chicks already in the first round. Now they have 2 chicks again. That one just hatched. I have to check afterwards. You see, that's why it has this. That means I have to check them. Here's a magnet. and that's for me easy. At the before they go to sleep, I can check the cages where they have this market on, so I can easily remember that there I have to go. That's another Spangle cock, perfect bird, super bird, but weak with spots. And that's why I gave him a hen with good spots. You see, good markings. They just laid an egg, a new egg. There's some babies. You know what color that is? Have a look.
Violet?
Yes, but something special in violet.
Maybe a violet sky or violet cobalt? Extra
No.
violet on top of cobalt, no?
No. Look at the feather on the tail.
Oh, okay.
That's a melanistic Spangle.
That's why I didn't recognise it.
He is too much dark, but I like this color a lot. You will see a lot of birds in that color in the future. That's a grandson from my European show winner, Cinnamon Grey Green, from the last year. He died in winter time. He was mating with a young hen the whole day, and once, boom, he fell down. He had a nice death. But he bred very well for me. Look at it, this cock. That's a good cock, but nothing special. Then look at this hen. Good hen, but nothing special. Now you must see the youngsters. They're all top quality. You see?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
That's all recessive pipes. And the best one is this one. Well, it's still a baby in the nest, but very good chick. Spots could be better, but super feather, super dense feather, blow, directional feathering, everything what you want. They just came out from the nest box for the first time. So this one as well, everything around. You see the directional feather above the sear. That's what I like. The position of the eye far away from the beak, and they must have a good back skull. Then they're ideal birds. That's just an average recessive pie. He's a brother from the European show in the recessive pie, but that's the one who breeds the best chicks. And that's a single bird from a super pair, the only one that survived. I'm not sure whether I keep him. Yeah, not always the birds look like you want them to look. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work.
So you must be a believer that lessers can breed you good birds.
Yeah, sure. It's mathematics. I was teaching mathematics for 20 years, and most rules from mathematics you also find in budgies. So if a poor bird comes out of two good ones, he will reproduce a certain amount of good birds. That's that's the way it has to be. Two chicks from that couple, not outstanding. From him I have lots of chicks.
Okay, changing the subject slightly, because I heard you mention melanistic twice. Is this a mutation or that you are working on to improve?
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell us about it.
I started with them 3 years ago, and it's a mutation that you can make quick progress. The first ones I had, they were really poor. Wow, I was looking for good markings, and no, not so much how they looked like, but every generation they're far better. Look, here is the best melanistic Bengal cock I bred so far, and I would say he's almost as good as any of my normal birds. It's a very aggressive hen. He's very shy. There are some tricks in here, like I hope it will fit. But that's a perfect. That's the marking they should have, like this, and full spotted. And in my opinion, that's one of the most attractive colors. Look, that's now the third generation, and I would say he's as good as any of the normal birds.
Okay.
And yeah, that's an old hen. John Bird, can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly. I was going to say we've only got about 30 minutes left, so I was wondering if we could start asking you some questions. Either we can play in the bird room or we can move to your office, whichever you prefer.
I have to check the bird room. I have an appointment with my wife that I have to be with our friends after the meeting. So okay. I have to check all the nest boxes, what I have to do anyway. But I don't tell you something about the pairings. I just you can have a look at the birds. There are 2 cocks together with 2 hens, and I've seen that the grey green is feeding this hen, and so on. Just ask. I can easily watch the birds and answer your questions.
All right then. Okay, let's do that then. First question is on outcrossing. Can I ask you how many outcrosses you buy in every year, and how has COVID stopped you doing that maybe this year?
Okay, there are 2 different subjects. First, yes. Number 2, talking about COVID. From end of February, March, April, I didn't sell any bird at all. Well, I sold a few cheap ones in Switzerland, but in Switzerland, there's no big market, and no people were coming anymore. My wife did not want it to get any visitors either, because she belongs to the high-risk group, and that was not funny. And now I also have less people that are coming. Still, people are afraid, because of quarantine or afraid of different reasons. So, of course, for the hobby, it was not good. But I will survive. Many people are asking for birds, and they want me to send by airplane. But that's, I need the time to prepare it and to take pictures and so on. Second question for outcrossing. I try to bring in some birds every year, because in my belief is that many people, they have one super bird and they breed from that bird 10 youngsters, and so they keep on with all those 10 youngsters, and the year after he has another 10 youngsters, and they go on with all those birds, and very, very quickly I'm sure they will realize it doesn't go on, because they're too close in bloodline. And I never breed close. I don't breed cousin to cousin, and I don't breed father to daughter and things like this. I go further away. I always try to stay in the family. I have a group of bocce breeder friends that work poorly with my blood. And when I want the bird, I get that bird for breeding, and they also can get my birds for breeding. So I always have a big gene pool. Plus, but these are not really outcrosses. But I try to bring in every year a few birds that are really completely different plots. But that's not that easy because, yeah, most of the good breeders like the birds, they have more or less the same bloodline as I have. But I think if you bring in birds, they don't have to be outstanding, they have to be well bred, and then you can easily introduce them. Mainly hens. That I bring in a cock from a foreign stock, it must be a really, really good stock, a very good cock. Otherwise, I wouldn't breed with him. With hens, I'm easy. A hen must be fit, a hen must be well bred, but she doesn't have to be outstanding.
Okay. Can I ask you? I mean, the face that you've got on your birds. I mean, it blows me away, and I'm sure it blows a lot of our members away because you have such beautiful faces on your birds. But
it's all about the face. It's all about the direction of the feather in the face. That's the secret.
Now you have that face. What is next on your list? Because I remember last year you mentioned at the Mid-Ethics that you were reducing the buffness of your birds, bringing them back a little bit. Do you have anything that you intend doing that you can let us know for the future?
Well, if you compare the birds I have nowadays with the birds I have 5 or 10 birds ago, a year ago, the birds are getting much smaller because the birds I used to have then, they were, well, the hens were not fertile or not so fertile anymore. I like average hens that breed 5, 6, 7 fertile eggs to get 4, 5 chicks in one round. And if you see my boxes, there are lots of fertile eggs and lots of chicks. That's the fertility is extremely important for me. So if a hen doesn't lay a lot of eggs, I kick her out. And if you study my hens, there are lots of average hens, but look at that hen. I already took 2 away. There are 2 more to hatch. She's nothing special, but she's a daughter from my super sky blue cock in box 26. That's an old cock, and they had 7 fertile eggs. And as it looks now, all the chicks are hatching. So she flies. That's a very important subject to me to see whether the bird is able to fly. I want to try to get all birds able to fly again, and that was something that made me feel like I have to change the direction I'm going, because many of my big birds couldn't fly properly anymore. And yeah, of course, we're not breeding chicken, we are breeding budgies, and budgies, when you see them in the nature, they fly perfectly. So we also should try to breed budgies again that are able to fly.
Okay, thank you for that. Yeah, that's good. Can I ask you, what is in your finger drawers there that we're seeing? Can you tell me what's in them?
I have about 20, 25 different minerals. Whenever I go, when I judge a show or whenever I give a speech in a club somewhere, and there's some things to buy, I buy minerals from all over the world. Or if people ask whether they can bring something with, I tell them bring some of your mineral stuff with. So I have mineral stuff from all over the world, and I think you can't do anything wrong with giving the birds different minerals. Look at this, when they have chicks, they're empty. I filled them up. I came back from holiday last week and I filled them up all. Now they're already empty again, and especially when they have babies. You see, they have babies here in the nest box. They need a lot of minerals. When you study budgies in the wild, you see them. Oh, you're gone? Ah, you're back.
Yeah.
Okay, you're back. When you study budgies in the wild, you can see that they eat a lot of minerals as well. And yeah, our birds, they do not have the chance to get minerals from the wild, from the ground. So we have to feed them. And I'm sure that that's extremely important. And I give this about every 10 days. I fill them up, especially for the birds that have babies. they're very, very eager to get the minerals for the babies.
Yeah. The next question is in two parts, and it's about soft food. So I should ask if you breed all year, and if you do breed all year, do you feed your soft food? You just carry on 12 months of the year?
Okay, two questions. First question, that's my soft food.
Yep.
You see different fruits, carrots, apples, broccoli, fennel, I don't know the English word, a lot of eggs, and there are also different herbs inside. There's biscuit inside, and that's the rest from today, and that stays in the fridge until tomorrow. So I give that back, and they are getting this about every, let's say, 2 to 3 times a week. It depends how much time I have. And the other question about the feeding regime, my birds are getting the whole year the same food. I know many people are saying, oh, you need to feed them before the show and before the breeding. I think they need the whole year the same the same amount of protein and the same amount of whatever they need. It doesn't matter for me whether it's breeding season or not breeding season. They get the same food the whole year. And my breeding season, I changed my breeding season 2014. We were going with the whole family to Australia. So at that time I changed my my breeding circle. Already before I was thinking about breeding in springtime, summertime, and since then I don't breed in wintertime anymore. So that means this year I was breeding too long. I was breeding until February. So I stopped in December, January, and February. I still had a few couples down, but February, March, April, all the boxes were empty. I could clean everything, and then in May, June, I paired them up again. And now I will breed until about when the first French molters are arriving, I will stop. That's usually in December, January, when I have to close the windows. Now the windows that you can see here, they're all fully open. And in winter time, it's getting very cold. We have snow here. Then I have to close. I have a good ventilation system, and here that's the heating. No, that's at the moment I put cold water into the walls to cool it down. The building. It's the same. That's for cooling down, and but it's a very strong machine to clean the air, but it's not strong enough to get clean air in winter time. So I have to close the window, and when I close the window, I'm getting problems with French mold. Then I have to stop breeding. That's the way I always do it.
Okay, can I ask you, while we're talking about French molt, would you ever consider using a bird that has recovered from French molt?
100% yes. I'm 100% sure, 2011, we were changing our house. We were moving from the old house to an old villa. And I had all the cages were new. Everything was perfect. And all of a sudden, I had French molt all over the place. I never had this before. And I still don't know why it happened. It must have to do that they had stress. So the following year, I was forced to breed with French molt birds, and the result was amazing. You can breed French molt to French molt, and you get 15 chicks and 15 chicks that were feather complete. had a perfect. It's a very strange thing with that virus. Don't ask me how it works. I know it's not in the gene, for sure not, but it's on the bird. And if a bird recovers from French mold, I think he has like a sort of a vaccine. So that means a French mold bird that recovers does not get French mold anymore. That's not, well, it's a theory for me, but I'm sure it's true. That's, at least that's my experience.
Oh, that's really, really interesting. Thank you for letting us know about.
I think most people are killing the French molders, and people are afraid to talk about. I'm getting regularly French mold at the end of the season, and look, I can show you a bird that was a French molter. He never recovered completely. That's this yellow face, this grey-green cock, cinnamon grey-green cock. He breeds super chicks, but he's not complete. You cannot see it properly, but have a look on his face. And he never produced a French molter. He was a French molter. He recovered a little bit, but not completely. But yeah, his chicks are perfect. No problem at all.
Thank you. That's very, very interesting. Thank you for that. We have a question here from Brian Taylor, who says that he believes you were, a few years ago, you were breeding clearwings, and he wonders how you got on and whether you're still breeding them.
Yeah, it's not easy with the clearwings. This cock here, this violet cock, he popped out of a clearwing couple, but 2 split birds. So I'm not sure whether he's a split bird or not, but he's my best violet, and I did not try him on clearwings. I have some clearwings. Here's a couple. That's a young hen with an old cock. Of course, you cannot compare the quality with my other birds. And yeah, everybody who breeds clearwings, he knows that it's difficult to get them in the right size. I have at the moment, that's the only bird, the only clearwing couple I'm breeding with. This cock here, he can be a split clearwing. I know it's the wrong color because he has a gray factor in, but I will pair him later to a clearwing hen. There's a clearwing cock, yellow face. He already had some baby. I bred some split birds. He has a nice contrast. That's one of his baby. That's a huge cinnamon cock split clearwing. But with clearwing, as with all other colors, rare varieties, they are more difficult. I can show you a few more clearwings. I have a few clearwings, but not that many. And at the moment, that's the only couple I'm breeding with. Let me see.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, that's a violet clearwing cock. That's a split hen. I want to pair them together. I still have a few, but I'm not doing outstanding good with them. That one, for example, is a baby lacewing cock. And with lacing, yeah, they're much easier to make progress. That's a baby clearwing or almost a gray wing. You see, good bird, but yeah. So, other questions?
Yes. Can we talked about your soft food? Do you soak seed?
Yes. About 2 or 3 times a week, they get salted oats. Yeah, that's one of the main diaries they're getting.
Just that's the look like an oat with the shell still around it. Yeah.
Say again.
It's oh, what do you call it? Naked oats. Or with the shell still around the oat?
With the shell around, complete.
Okay. The next question someone's asking, when I know you said sometimes you'll put 2 hens with 1 cockbird to pair them up, but if you want to put a pair together, cock and hen, put them in the cage at the same time, or do you put the cockbird in first? And the second question is, how quickly do you give them a nest box after putting them together?
Oh, yeah, I know in the books it's written you should put the birds together and wait 2-3 weeks. I never do this. I put my birds in and I give them straight the nest boxes. And when they want to breed, I let them breed. If they don't want to breed, after a few days, I don't wait too long. When the hen is not going to the nest box, after a few days, and the cock is not trying to feed the hen and try to mate with her, I stop the couple. Then they're not ready, or they do not like each other as I want them to like each other. So if I would go on breeding with them, I would get clear eggs, I think. So I put cock and hen straight together, and then I see how is their behavior.
Okay, thank you.
I don't wait a long time.
Okay.
Normally you can see quickly whether they really like each other or not.
Yeah. Do you use any foster pairs to take eggs, or maybe you use an incubator?
No, nothing. All my birds are breeding for themselves. I think I have absolutely no understanding for people that use foster. I have no understanding for people that use artificial insemination. I think my birds, they are happy when they can feed youngsters. And if you always take the youngsters away, I'm sure you got crazy birds. They got completely frustrated. Imagine if you have kids and someone always takes your kids away, you wouldn't be happy. And I try to keep my birds happy. And that means I try to let them have as much nature as possible. I know it's not always possible, and I know they live in a small cage and that's not comfortable for them. But now light starts turning off. That's not a problem. But yeah.
Am I still okay to ask questions or not?
Sure.
Okay.
Go on.
Well, the next one is on humidity and temperature. So what humidity is your bird room and what temperature is your bird room?
Well, in summertime it's quite hot. In wintertime it's quite cool. I have a heating system, but most of the time I do not use it. And in summertime I use the cooling system. So in winter time I have about 10 degrees, and now we can go and have a look. So now it's 23 degrees, and about the water, about the hydrometer, I can't tell you. I honestly don't know. I never checked that. I never do. They get daily fresh water. Afterwards, I will clean the water in here. That's very important. I clean when I'm around and it's warm. I clean this water about 10 times a day. Well, it depends how more. When I'm not around, I cannot clean it all the time, of course. But I try to clean it because the birds, they like to take a bath. And yeah, here these are all young hens waiting to be paired up. When the old hens, older birds, no, when the young birds are ready, these are birds from winter time, so they need a few more weeks and then they will be paired up. And yeah, I try to keep my stock young, and I think the power of a stock is always in the young birds.
And do you pair up? Do you pair up with the rings in mind, or in Europe the rings don't make a lot of difference? Tell me.
I didn't understand your question.
The rings in England, for instance, many breeders will pair up at the middle of October to be able to get the new rings on, the new 2021 rings on for the 1st of December. Is this something that you have to think about or not?
Well, for me, it's important when are the birds breeding the best? And the birds are breeding without any best in springtime and summertime, and especially the difficult cocks, the difficult hens. I had birds that didn't breed in wintertime, and in springtime they were fertile. So that's actually what made me feel like I want to stop breeding in wintertime. And I know that concerning the ring, it's a big, it's not good if you breed not in wintertime. But I don't care about the ring issue. I think if I would be president of the BS, I would make all rings. Huh? Was ich? Ja, komm ich wieder my daughter. I would make all rings go out on the 1st of January, and then you don't have any discussion. And instead of making only 1 year, young birds, you could make 2 years. So that means this year, all birds from 2020 and 2019 wrong can go as young birds. And the birds from 2018, 17, and so on, they would be old birds. Like this, you would get more birds on the show bench, and actually, it doesn't really change a lot, I think. And I would make 1st of January, the whole world is getting the rings, and then you don't have the discussion anymore. When I sell a bird to anybody that comes here privately and they want to buy a bird, and they buy a bird in October, and I have to tell them, well, it's 2020 wrong, but it's born in September 2019, they do not understand. They say, yeah, that's strange. And I think it's strange. Why do we have, why do you understand what I mean? I think it's more logical if you make all over the world 1st of January, and then you don't have that discussion. I don't care about really. I breed the birds when I want to breed them, and they got the ring that I have, and it's not so important whether I have a new ring or an old ring or whatever.
All right, thank you very much for that. Next question then. Are there any budgie mutations you would not pair together? And if so, why?
I wouldn't pair lacing to clear body. Some people are doing this or try to do that. I cannot see, or I wouldn't pair a violet to a lace ring. It doesn't make sense. Well, of course, there are many combinations you shouldn't do, but I have no problem to pair a pied to a spangle, a dominant pied, or I have no problem. Okay, I'm back. Well, I can't use the Zoom anymore. I don't know why.
I have a couple more if it's okay with you.
Yeah, just go on.
If you were giving yourself, as a younger person, some advice starting in the hobby, what would that advice be?
Go and visit as many breeders as possible in your area and find the breeder where you feel well with. You have to find somebody who really can act as a teacher, as a mentor for you. I had the luck to meet Heinrich Ock. He was an older man, champion breeder, and he was, when I visited him, he said, look, Daniel, these are my best birds, and these are the weakest youngsters for my best birds. That's what you can buy. I thought, well, that's not very nice that he tells me I can only buy the weakest youngsters. But I realized very quick that that's the way it works. And from those weak-looking youngsters, I was breeding birds that were far, far better than the father looked like or the mother looked like. So I knew that he didn't lie to me. The bird really came from the birds that he told me. And you must find 1 or 2 breeders you feel comfortable with in your area and ask for the right bird. And I remember when I was young, I was visiting many people, and yeah, most of them, they want to sell you the old birds, and they will never breed, and try to buy young birds. That's always much better for everyone. If you buy a young bird and he doesn't lay an egg, you can't blame somebody. And if you buy an old bird and he doesn't lay an egg, or he never have fertile eggs, yeah, it's not so good. So
Okay.
with young birds,
Yeah, I have a very interesting.
I cannot zoom the birds anymore. Can you change this, George?
Okay, well, we can see them still quite nicely anyway.
No,
but... No. There you go, you've zoomed them. But now I can't hear you.
Okay, now?
Yeah, now we can hear you, and we can see the zoom.
Good.
This
Now,
is a very interesting question from somebody, and they've asked, apart from yourself, obviously, whose birds, whose stud do you admire?
well, in my younger years, when I was 20, I met Joe Manners for the first time, and that was a big shock for me. I thought at that time that I have super birds at home, and then I was visiting Joe Manners, and I have to say that he's light years ahead of me. And well, that was the fact, but for me it was a motivation, and that was certainly somebody who lives 1.5 hours away from here, and yeah, and I certainly was impressed about his work.
Okay, thanks.
In 2004, I visit Pat the Deer, and she's an old lady, and she had the big fluffy birds with the extra length of feather, also the long tails. They came from the Menechini line, and I got 13 birds of her, and 6 or 7 of them, I'm not sure anymore, they worked, and from these birds, they had a massive influence of my stud as well. But I mean, you know, I bought in my life, I bought hundreds of birds. Some bred well, some didn't breed. But when you buy a bird, you don't know will it be a good one or not. But if you don't try, you will never know. And in my younger years, I was getting some money from playing football. And whenever I had some extra money, some spare money, I went to buy a bird. And many of those birds were a waste of time, but a few of those birds did also really well for me. But you never know in advance which birds will do well for you and which ones are the waste of time. No risk, no fun.
Right. Can I ask you? You mentioned long tails. If you have used them, how do you use them and control their use?
I think, especially England, the long tail is a huge feature, and many people are afraid of. To make it short and straight, I don't like long tails. I think they are ugly. But in most of my birds, there's a certain amount of long tails. And long tails, this extra gene, it's like a flecked bird. You know, I don't like flecked birds, but they can be useful. You can get better masks, you can get better markings, because that means this bird has an extra of melanin. And long tails are ugly when they have the long body feathers, the long wings, and the long tails. But if you're able to manage to get the birds, to get the feathers in the head, then they are outstanding. And that's what I did in the last 15 years. I still have a very few amount of visually long tails, but I know that gene is in many of my birds. But I think I was able to manage this extra length of feather into the face. Look at that hen, short body feather, short tail, and wonderful mask, wonderful face. And I think that's the art, to be able to control this feature when you have this feature, you have gold in your hand, but you must be able to handle it. If you're not able to handle it, yeah, it might be difficult.
Okay, thank you.
Again, does it help?
Yes.
Again, I cannot make a zoom.
Oh no, very much so. Yes, thank you.
I cannot. Can you, George? Can you make that? I can make it bigger again.
If you want to, it's still.
So if you just have to swipe right until you find your own picture again.
I'm on my own picture, but I cannot.
Oh, now swipe right. Sorry, I've clicked it.
Oh, now it works again. Sometimes
Cool.
it just disappears. Okay,
Yeah.
go on.
Okay. So,
a few last questions, then I have to go to my family.
Okay, so we'll go one last question then, and that is.
It doesn't. I didn't say the last, but
No?
we have to slightly come to an end.
Okay, then maybe a couple more then. You travel the world with your budgie commitments, and somebody has asked, what is the state of the hobby in other countries? Where do you find that the budgie hobby is thriving?
Everywhere else than in Europe. In Europe, we have, I think it's in England or in Germany or in Switzerland, we all have the same problems. People want to have a hobby that they can quickly put it away for 2 weeks and then take it again. And with bocce, that's not possible. Bocce, to breed bocce means 365 days a year to be, it's like having a kid. You always have to take care of them. And going back to one of your first questions, very important is to organize from the beginning who is looking after the birds when you're not around. And I think it's very important to have people that you can trust, and they have a key and they can look to your birds. I have a group of people, they have the key, they can go in, I can go to holiday, and when I come back, I find the birds back in good condition, and that's very important. I know bocce breeders that didn't go to holiday for years because of the birds. And I like to travel. I want to see something from the world. And if you don't do this, I think you miss a lot. I mean, breeding bocce is nice, but there are other things much nicer in life. And that's why it's important to have people that you can trust, that you can help, and that makes you feel well when you're away. It's also important to make breaks. I know people, they breed for years, they never make a stop, and I think to have a stop is very important for me, for the birds, but also for the family, because when I'm not breeding, I can feed my birds in half an hour and quickly clean and change the water, so that's done very, very fast. And going back to your question, I mean, Pakistan, Egypt, there the hobby is very virulent. Australia, I mean, they're crazy. I don't know whether somebody is listening from Australia here, but
yes,
I can. Oh, okay, then I don't say it. But I mean, their birds look like our birds looked 20 years ago. They still look like the birds from '96 when they got the birds in. There's not much progress. There's just a few breeders who make progress. And the problem is in Australia, people do not work together. People do not trust each other. That's why they don't make progress. And but there's a big bocce hobby, and they pay crazy prices for birds. And I see it's important, much more important in Switzerland. Breeding bocce is one of the most stupid things you can do. Nobody is interested in them. Nobody likes them. All my friends think that I'm crazy, that I don't do something serious. My daughters are very ashamed at school when they say my father is a bocce breeder. And in Switzerland, the reputation is below zero, but I don't really care about. and yeah, I think I enjoy it, and I still work a little bit as a teacher. In September and October, I will work a few days as a teacher again. That's okay, but I have no time anymore to work regularly as a teacher.
Okay, we have one very important question, and that is what is your preventative medicine schedule? So how do you treat your birds for various things before they become ill?
Well, in 90% I'm using tetracycline. That's a black paste, and I feed them, and yeah, it's important that they. Oh wait, I have to close the windows because our neighbors. Just a moment. Just go on. Ah, it already starts. You see now, all the light is out except now I have the night light. So they have a sort of. Wait, I have to put that off as well. Because now soon it's sleeping time for them. Now I forgot your question.
Yeah, I'm the one with dementia. I've forgotten it as well.
About you asked about medicine.
Yes,
I have this black paste called Auramine. There's tetracycline in, and that's I'm using. Let's say if that doesn't help, it's difficult. I also have Baytril. I have the products from Dr. Schröder, TKK, the Combi Mix. That's all useful, but I don't make, like many other breeders, I don't make, how do you say, regularly cures with all the birds or something like this. I think that's nonsense. I treat my birds not with antibiotics. I treat my birds with probiotics. That means I don't try to destroy the bad bacteria. I try to stimulate the good bacteria. And if you do that, the goal is that the good bacteria take over. I think it's better to support the good attitudes instead of trying to destroy the bad attitudes. I'm not sure whether my English is good enough to explain.
Yes, no, it's very good. It's very good. A few very quick questions, so you can give very quick answers. But how many cocks and hens do you keep, all the time for breeding?
At the moment, there's around 450 birds. There are already again 200 new birds that I bred since May, June. And I keep about twice as many hens as cocks. So that means at the moment around here are about 120 cocks. I have 96 breeding couples, breeding boxes. That means I need about 120 cocks. And well, at the moment there are more cocks because the old ones aren't sold yet. But soon, when the young ones are old enough to be paired up, I will sell the older ones. So many of the birds you've seen today will be sold. And yeah, I keep twice. So let's say I keep about 120 hens,
yeah,
plus about 200 hens.
Okay.
That's what I keep normally.
How many chicks do you breed a year?
700-800 normally.
Yeah, 700-800. Wow. And how much time do you spend in your bird room every day?
Oh, ask my wife. She thinks too much. I would say daily, probably 6-7 hours average. There are days where I'm just 1-2 hours, but that doesn't arrive very often. And yeah, there are days where I'm 12 hours in the bird room. If it has to be, or I have visitors, and yeah, it's different.
Somebody's asked what what wood chippings have you got on the floor? Is it sort of special one?
It's called Buchenholz. I don't know the English. I don't know the English word.
No, it's like probably pallets of wood or something all chopped up.
Like pallets, yeah. It's dust free, and it's called to be antiseptic.
Okay.
And well, I clean this about every second, third week. Depends how many birds are in here. The breeding boxes, I have newspapers on the breeding boxes, and I change them about every week. And that's also, it's easy to keep them clean.
Thank you. One of our members has asked they've said they've seen you administer calcium direct to the mouth of your hens. If that's correct, what product do you use?
That's not calcium, that's this product. That's correct, yes. That's vitamin D3, oleovit it's called. I give this before and during the hens are laying eggs. I give this directly into the beak of a bird, or only of the hens. And that helps the birds to get the calcium out of the bones. So I'm sure, since I'm using this, I'm having more chicks, and the hens are laying more eggs, and I don't get any soft shell eggs anymore. And I'm sure that like this, I breed more youngsters by feeding this.
Fabulous.
No doubt about.
Well, I think we have to stop somewhere, and I'd like to just ask you one more question. How you stop red mite in your bird room? What products do you use?
I have in this box here. I don't have it, but in one box upstairs, in one wall, I found this year red mice again. And well, I know there are products that you can give into the water that kills everything, but I'm afraid that if you give a product into the water that kills everything, I'm afraid that also could have a bad influence on the evolution of the embryo in the egg. So I don't give it. And cleaning, and I'm using this product here. I can't tell you the name. It's a white powder. That's it. Agrinova. It's a white powder that you spray, and it should destroy the babies and the eggs. But I'm not so sure whether it works a little bit, but not completely. And I also use regularly ivermectin, if you know that product.
Yes.
Yeah, and cleaning, and yeah, I mean, you have to handle it. I think every serious poultry breeder know the problem with red mites. You have to live with them. You know, when you feed, I often feed fresh trees, and yeah, when you bring in fresh feed, it's always risky that you bring mites in as well. But I think it's worth the risk, because yeah, in those leaves and in the branches, there are so many good products, for natural products, and they like to eat. If you see this, you see they all, yeah, they take the outside of the tree away. I don't know what's the English word for that.
Well,
and,
Daniel, I'm going to take this opportunity to thank you very, very much. And I want you to get back to your family and friends who you're having with.
I had a message in the meantime. They left. And,
no.
that's not a problem. I can see them again. And yeah, so it's not a problem.
Well, I can promise you, everyone has loved their time with you this evening, and I thank you very much indeed.
I think that they all fell asleep. I'm afraid.
No, I've been watching them.
How do you know that they did not sleep?
Because I've been watching all their faces, and they're all very, very interested. No one's gone to sleep, I promise you.
Okay, maybe I hope you're right.
Yeah, I'm very right. I promise you, I'm right. This will go down as a great memory for not only me but for a lot of our members. It's been a marvelous talk by you. Over 2 hours, you've been keeping us enthralled, and I just want to thank you again very, very much. And
thank you.
That's it. I'll just quickly tell all the members in the near future we have a show coming up. I think it's next Wednesday. Is the am I right? Has anyone got the details on that? Is it next? It
is next Wednesday, John.
Yeah. So
it's the grey and grey greens.
Grey and grey green show with which includes cinnamons and opalins, and also golden faces and yellow faces in those mutations. And then the week after that, the first Tuesday of September, will be Kevin's talk on, I don't know what it is, but has anyone got details of that, what he's going to be talking about? Anyone know? Well, Kevin's going to be talking about something health-wise, which we're all going to find really interesting, aren't we?
Avian gastric yeast and
avian tuberculosis.
Avian tuberculosis, yes.
Well, that's really of great interest. Daniel, if you're still there, I'd love if you're available maybe next year, if you would agree to judge one of our online shows.
Yeah, no problem from my side.
That would be wonderful. Then I'll get back in touch with you and nearer the time, and we'll book a month early next year.
Yeah, no problem from my side. That's fine.
All right. Thank you again, Daniel, and everyone else for attending this evening. I hope you've enjoyed yourselves. I think we had over 80 people watching Daniel's talk tonight at one time. So I think
it's a good opportunity, as people are afraid to travel, and I can understand that it's not that easy with the COVID-19 anymore. And I think it's a good opportunity to make it's a little bit like a bocce visit. And I want to thank you for having the opportunity to show you a little part of my shirt. And thank you. And good night.
It's been wonderful, Daniel. Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolute pleasure. Fantastic.
You see that a love couple, they're too young to be paired up. They're both 20 runs, but I don't care about the color. If I see a couple like this, I keep that in my memory. In 2-3 months, they will be ready to be paired up, and they will go into a breeding box.
And how old are your youngest breeding birds when you start breeding with them?
Well, normally 8-9 months, but there are hens that start early. There are cocks that breed with 5-6 months. I mean, I know I have hens. I don't like this attitude, but I have hens sometimes. They start laying eggs when they are really still barheads, with 8, 9, 10 weeks. In nature, they start breeding with 8-9 weeks. Imagine, in Australia, people told me. Good old John from, I haven't seen any wild birds, but I was meeting people that have experience with wild birds, and they told me that a bocce can, it doesn't have to, but he can start breeding at the age of 9-10 weeks. So, I mean, of course, our birds, they need more time and to get big, but I think nature made them very, very fertile, and they are produced to be fertile. And I think it's not a problem to use birds already earlier. But when you ask when I use them, I say 8-9 months earliest. Some birds, they need, especially cocks, they need 12 months, or they need 15 months or 24 months. It always depends. It's never the same. It's like with humans. Some girls are with 20 excellent mothers, and others are with 40 still not able to look after their kids. And so it's about the same as puppies.
Yeah, it's a good analogy, that.
Last question, then for the neighbors. Yeah, I have to turn off the light. I just see a lovely couple. And in the evening, it's very good to look at the birds. That's the mother, that's her son, this cinnamon grey green, and I saw him feeding that grey green hen. Well, you can't see her properly, but that's in my memory. I will do that tomorrow morning. Okay, one last question, then we stop.
Oh, blimey, last question. What have I got? Have I got any questions left? There's got to be a question on here I haven't asked you somewhere.
I have.
Yeah, do you hand rear or crop feed any babies at all, or do you leave it to nature?
I have sometimes, not often. I have birds, they do not eat, and the parents do not feed them well. I have a needle here, but how shall I say, not always, but often the birds that survive, something is wrong with them. I think somehow over the top, when a baby is not able to eat themselves, I think maybe that's the same if a bird cannot reproduce himself. I think it doesn't make sense to use artificial insemination, because what do you produce? You produce, again, birds that for any reason can't breed naturally. And I think if a bird is not able to eat, maybe it's better that he dies. But I also do it sometimes, but with little success. Yeah, I would say from 10 birds that I'm doing it, I don't do it often, but I would say 6 or 7 are dying. And I think maybe there's a reason why they do not eat.
All right, thank you very much, Daniel. We'll let you off for the rest of the evening. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Good night, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Good night, thank you.